Good evening. Another Wednesday night. This fan's view. We got a packed house.
We do.
We got several packed houses. This is our last show at our home base for a while. This
Mm-hmm.
is it. We go back out on the road next week. So we're fired up,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Fired up, John. Fired up, Lauren.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Anthony, fired up.
So fired up.
All fired All right, all right. Boy, there's Pete Wharton jumping on this early. He's,
Yeah.
He just knows there's some raffles in his
is
future.
that? I was just getting ready to say, does he think we're giving away raffle prizes,
Yep.
or we're just giving away tickets for next week?
hmm
Welcome everybody so far. Absolutely, Florida. All points in between, but
Yeah.
yeah. So pretty interesting turn of events here in June. I know myself personally, I had a phenomenal June, but I think the Phillies may have gone one step better. They had an outstanding month of June.
They
Uh,
have.
Basically, came out of the, you know, I mean, we had them buried. Everybody had them buried. They were going nowhere but down and out, and now look at them. John, where are they at? You're our numbers guy.
They're 5 games over 500. They're five. Like I said, we just had to get through the rain. What was it? The Brewer series. Get close to 500 at that point, and then the schedule gets easy for them. So, let's hope they take advantage of. They've been taking advantage of the situation right now, with a little bit weaker schedule. You know, took care of business, taking 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals, who was right in front of them. So now they're tied right now for that last wild card spot. So we are talking playoffs right now, which is huge. And Rob Thompson's got them, playing more free, and the bats started playing right now, and that's is key for this team. Once the offense is there, it relaxes the pitchers. The pitchers are going deeper right now into the 7th and 8th inning pitching, which is helping the bullpen work out as well. So it's a lot of good things are happening right now. So
Yeah, they're doing it. Where the injury bug has definitely surfaced.
yeah,
They've lost a couple position players, a couple starting pitchers, but they seem to have some guys stepping up. Um, we've always talked about next man up, right?
oh yeah,
Uh, and this is kind of what you paid Schwarber to do, what you paid Castellanos to do. Unfortunately, Bryce, took one off the thumb, and so you lose him. Same thing happened with Gene. But I saw yesterday he's back taking ground balls, so he might be not be out the 12 weeks that they were originally talking about.
yeah. Hopefully that'd be nice. Because that'd be an extra
Oh,
piece that we can get in that lineup, which would be nice to see.
yeah, and you bring up a young kid last night, and he's been up before. Sanchez, he didn't pitch quite as well as he did last night. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah,
Five solid innings. Um, I see the organization is moving. They appear to be moving players through their system a little bit quicker than in the past. Um, I don't know if it's just me or these kids are maybe they're better ball players, but they come up through Clearwater to Jersey Shore, and I know 2 or 3 of them have already surfaced in Reading. Um, with big potential, plastered on them. So I know there's a relief pitcher that they just brought up. Last week they brought up a second baseman. Um, so they're moving players a little quicker. I know the one kid moved from Clearwater up to was it Painter,
Yeah,
the pitcher, to
paper.
Jersey Shore, and he's had a couple of outstanding outings already at that level. So, um, maybe the whole transition of Dombrowski and who's our minor league guy, Mattingly.
Not only, yep.
Maybe things are just being handled a little bit different. They're not sitting on these guys as much as long as they have in the past.
Well,
Uh,
do you think part of it too is with the COVID? Having that, it seemed like they may have sat out a year, and like Anthony was saying, we kind of have like a log jam now, so it's kind of you got to move guys along, move them up, and um, they kind of had a year, but they didn't have a year. With the
Plus, you
COVID.
took a full team away. You took
Right.
Williamsport away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you've got one less team, but you still have all these players. I know I was talking to somebody in Reading, and they're overstocked. Triple A's overstocked with players.
Right.
Um, and it just appears that they're taking a quicker look see and moving these guys along, um, which hey, you need them, right? You talked about having a strong 40 man, uh,
Right.
and that's what the Phillies appear to be heading for. With what they're doing, you need replacements. You're always going to have injuries. Um, Anthony, I mean, do you get into it at all, or is that out of your realm of job description?
No,
With
I usually don't. It's pretty full down there. I mean, it's pretty tight. I mean, if you look at the bullpen, there's new guys all the time. It's full. There's really nowhere else to sit. So, and from what I've heard, that's the same thing in Lehigh Valley. So you're right. It's pretty busy down there, and yeah, this homestand alone, I feel like we've got a bunch of guys got shipped up, and when Lauren's in the store, she sees their parents come in and stuff like that. So I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. I think it's going to continue. The Phillies have been making a lot of moves up and down recently.
Yeah, yeah. Just I don't know. I just noticed that's a big difference over past years. Um, you know, are the players better? And because of that, they're moving them along a lot quicker. I know, John and I have discussed this numerous times about guys that have sat in the organization and pretty much like when do I get my call? When do I get my call? And one of them most recent is Derek Hall.
Yeah.
When he finally got the call last Wednesday night.
Wednesday. Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he got the call, and he's 7 years through the Philly system. Did everything that he could possibly do, I would think. And it took a serious injury on the big team to get him into the lineup, and guess what? He's producing.
Yes.
Well, I think they finally realized that you can't keep guys down that long and not give them a chance. I mean, you got to give them a chance, and if they don't, do well while they're up, then you could figure it out later. But you can't just keep them down there for 7-8 years. You got to let them play and see what happens. And he didn't do anything but perform at every level he was at, so he deserves that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's something they continue. Yeah, they've been other teams have done it too, but that AAA has been a holding ground, and you got to let the guys play.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's definitely positive, and I think too, other players see this, right? They're like, okay,
There is hope.
management,
They see that there is hope.
right?
They get
Yeah,
their shot.
yeah, that's where I'm going with this. They see the opportunities that, like the kid last night, Christopher Sanchez, he got the opportunity. We needed a starter, and, he's been up and back before. Well, you're just putting yourself in a good spot for the future. He pitched 5 strong innings last night, and, starting pitchers that, like that are, they're gold nowadays,
Yeah.
especially when you need one, that's only an hour or so away. So, that's really good to see. And overall, I think the team, I mean, look at the June that they had, um, and you take the holes that were there, the injuries that were there, and they still were able to overcome all of that adversity. I mean, just imagine if they were a healthy team and they hadn't
Right.
dug themselves such a big hole.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, you'll be right there with the Mets. I mean, the Mets are faltering right at the moment. They just got Max Scherzer back, last night, but it's they're still right there. They're 7 games back behind the Mets right in the moment. So, they're picking up ground slowly, but constantly picking up ground. So that's what you want to see. You got the wild card spot right now, so you're in the playoffs. So that's what you want to see. Now you have the playoffs, and now you build from there.
All right, this question's for Anthony because Max Scherzer was on a minor league rehab, and I'm not sure whether it was Binghamton or
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Was it Syracuse? He
Well,
spent
I guess he was with Binghamton as well with the Mets because
Yeah, he pitched a lot Tuesday, I think.
he spent $7,000 and treated the entire team to, lobster fillet, the best of the best. You ever had any Phillies players on rehab come through Reading and buy the boys any kind of
Every
big time dinner?
every time, that's what they do. I mean, and maybe not at that level because most of the guys don't have that much money, but every time there's a rehab guy, they always pay for it, even if they've only been up for a short time. That's sort of what they do. But
Right.
no, that's very generous of him to do all that. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the number that was being thrown out there. And they would have no reason to make it up. You know what I mean? He has that kind of money. I just found it interesting, right? He was there for a couple of starts, I guess,
Mhm.
but pretty cool. Good stuff. I just, I didn't know.
I think we hit him a bit that game, if I remember.
Yeah, Jalen Ortiz hit him for a home run.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So it was Binghamton, but it was up there, correct? It was
Yeah.
up in, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Gotcha.
wasn't in Reading.
Gotcha. Yep. But yeah, all things considered, I mean, rolling right into July baseball, and the Phillies are still, playing some very competitive ball. They've cleaned up a lot of mistakes. They're playing much better defense, and just allowing the game to be a lot more positive. So I once spent $1,000 at Dagwoods, and Scherzer makes a lot more than I do. Well, Ryan Hannigan, your $1,000 went to the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation, and for that,
It became 3,000. So that was
it became 3,000, and you now have a couple of little Hannigans running around. We'll see how he handles that. Hannigan's on the back of their hockey jersey. They put the name on the back.
Gotcha.
That's where I was going with that. No, okay, all right. So, we done with Phillies talk. I thought, Johnny, you got the 80-018 jersey up there, and when I jumped on earlier, I said to you, what was your choice of jersey tonight? And your response immediately was,
we're talking playoffs. We're in the playoffs, baby. You got to get excited, and this is what we want in Philadelphia, right? You want your teams playing competitive. Yeah, we're missing a couple of players here and there, but they're still fighting every night. They're going out there doing what they're supposed to. Guys are getting called up, and producing. Like you said, Derek Hall had a week, and he's batting over 300 right now. That's what you want to see coming up from your guys coming from the minors. He had 3 home runs and could have had a 4th one yesterday if it just fell a little short.
yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
He's playing well, and just like the Christopher Sanchez, the same thing. Came up, pitched his game, and got us a win yesterday, which was big. And got us tied with the Cardinals because we have a little bit of a tough stretch, with their schedule going back out to play the Cardinals for four out there, and then going up to Toronto, and then down to Miami for four. I think it is down there as well before the All-Star break. So
Should be interesting.
yeah, and Miami's right on our heels as well. 3 games behind us. So it's going to be a good test here before the All-Star break, and right at the halfway mark. It's good to see. You're getting Schwarber had the Player of the Month for June, and Reese Hoskins just had their Player of the Week last week. So it's good to see guys stepping up when the big guys are out of the lineup.
And I see therapy still working well for you. That Lauren has been exercising to keep you on the positive side of life.
I'm always positive.
I don't know about that.
Sometimes the truth is negative, but it has to be said.
I don't disagree with that. I think for me, it's just the default always seems to be negative, and that's what annoys me.
Sometimes
here we are a week later, and they're still playing well, they're still doing good, and let's always be positive. Let's always try to see the best in those situations, because like I said last week, I really don't think those guys actively go out there trying to lose.
Oh, of course not. No.
But yeah, it's just a lot easier to just be positive and hope for the best.
We were down there Saturday as a group for Henry and Emily's. What was that called?
Last swing before the ring.
There you go. And it was quite a gathering of friends and everybody in the wedding party, and we didn't get to our seats, and it was 5-0 Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just
Four straight homers.
And it was just, I was like, oh my God, how are we going to sit through this? But the Phillies, they showed a little swagger, right? They showed fight all night. They brought it back twice to tie it.
Yep.
They didn't get the W, but in my mind, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, they didn't ever even put up the fight for that game.
Right.
The way they did Saturday night. So kudos to them. We're right on the heels of playoff baseball, and that's where we want to be. I know Joe Stinger's itching to talk Flyers hockey.
Yeah, draft tomorrow.
The draft is, tomorrow night. Yes, Jenny, there was a game. Yeah, there was a game. So 5th overall pick. I'm totally. I don't even know that they use that pick. I'll be honest with you. I think that pick's going to end up getting traded, much like the Sixers did. They're going to package that pick along with one of their high-priced players that they're looking to move. Because here's the deal, guys. A player of that caliber, is going to go sit in the minors for probably 5 years. And I don't know that that's what they need. Right now, they need some cap relief, and they need to move, 1 or 2 big contracts to be able to build with the current squad. So, what's their number one need right now? I think they need a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I just think they're going to be a lot better off if they can get healthy. They're going to have a screamer for a coach. He's not going to take any crap. Yes, Brian Brown, I'm speaking of JVR. That's an $8 million contract for how many goals? 10, 12 goals? That's something you got to move. And that's what I'm.
When you were saying that, though, is the fifth overall pick going to entice a team that much to take JVR from you?
Yeah, because it does a couple of things. That team might have a need for a JVR.
Mhm.
And to work with that pick uh, down the road might mean something for the flight. It's just like and I know there's a big difference from the fifth pick. What the Sixers have 23rd.
Yeah.
Um, you know, they gave up a nice little player as well. Uh,
Hmm.
but there was a lot of money attached to that as well. So I don't know. Um, somebody
So,
saying goalie. I mean, I got to think, Carter Hart's your guy for the next how many years? I mean, you got to stay with him, right?
so you're telling me all this research I did on Simone Nemec is not good anymore?
Are you pronouncing his name correctly?
Nemec, I think so, right? MEC? Is that Nemec?
I hope you're right. I hope they draft the best available young player, but I just don't. Um,
6'1",
I
190, defenseman. He
yeah
likes to hit.
yeah
We like that in Philadelphia.
6'1", 190. He ain't banging too many people. Not in the National Hockey League.
Eh, he's what, 19 years old. He grows from there.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. 24 hours from now, we'll get a
Yeah, we
better
will.
idea. Um, I just think they moved the pick. I really do. They got a couple of really ugly contracts that need to be gone. Um,
That's true. Yeah, I mean, if that helps the fifth pick being able to move that, then move those guys. And
they've got a lot of young talent that, like the Phillies, they need to get off the pot. They need to give these kids a chance to play and find out what they have. Um, you're going to just load up, the minors, and it takes a long time for these kids to develop. So um,
Mhm.
we shall see. Any word on Coots? How is he making out? I heard that Coots and Ellis were both making great strides on healing up, and they should be ready for camp. So, um, you know, the guy I think that they're worried about is Farabee, Joel Farabee, who just had recent
Back surgery.
surgery as well. Um, we always talk about hockey players and how tough they are, but deep down inside, they get beat up just like any other athlete. And,
True.
it takes time for these injuries to heal. Um, so it's going to be interesting. But fifth pick, fifth best player. Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I just that player just doesn't help the team for the next 5 years, and Tortorella is not going to be the coach in 5 years. So. I think you're looking to make a move for the next year or two. Um, so we shall see. But we're already up against almost the 7 o'clock hour, and I promised to throw it over to Lauren because pints for pups. You got a lot of drinking going on, and we enjoy those. Why don't you spend a few minutes and share what you got going on with Humane Pennsylvania for everyone?
Sure. So we do a mini Pints for Pups series every year. It starts in October and it starts in May and runs through October. So we have one coming up this Sunday at the West Reading Tavern from 12 to 4. We actually have 5 straight weekends of events coming up. So that's this Sunday. Then next Saturday, we are in Marietta, which is right near Lancaster, for their music festival from 1 to 6. That's in partnership with River Trail Brewing Company. So that's a new spot for us. So we're excited about that. And then we've just got a few more thrown in there as well. We're back at Willow Creek Brewing, which is in West Reading. And then we finish it off at Manatawny Creek Winery. So if beer isn't your thing, we also have one of these coming up at a winery that's in the beginning of August. So we've got quite a few events coming up between now and the first weekend in August. All the information is on our website at humanepa.org, so you can find out about all of that. We also are still partnering with the Reading Phillies. So we've got we've got sponsored games for Fiesta Fridays, and Bark in the Park. So we've got those coming up in the mix as well. I think we have a Fiesta Friday and a Bark in the Park coming up next weekend.
Yep.
So we have tickets that we're giving away for those. Yeah, so just, I mean, we are in full event season right now, and it's definitely back in full swing. So if you're looking to do something and support a good cause along the way, humanepa.org, there's a tab for events, and you can see everything that's coming up.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Um, quick question in relation to, everything coming back and people looking to get out. Do you find people are back supporting, um, in full support mode these days?
Um, Not quite. I think we saw that for a little bit when things started to open back up, but just with the state of inflation right now and things just costing more, gas prices being a little bit higher, we are definitely feeling that when people start to crunch the numbers and they start to look at what they're spending a little bit closer. Donations to charity is absolutely the first thing to go, which I completely understand. So we don't see it as strongly now, but it doesn't have anything to do with COVID. So we still see people coming out and supporting, but they may not be coming out in the same droves we saw before, just with rising prices and things like that right now. So hopefully when that stuff starts to even out a little bit, we'll see even more folks. But in no way are our events not doing well. The mini pints are still tons of fun, and we see lots of people. I do think if it's one of those things that you've supported for a couple of years now and it's just part of what you do, you still come out for it. It's sort of the casual folks that maybe have never been, that are thinking about coming, that may shy away from it just to not have to drive, or not, they have food at home or drinks at home. So we definitely feel it in that way.
So break it down a little bit for the casual person that would come out to the event on Sunday. Part of the money off the drafts goes back to you guys.
Yes.
How does that all work?
Yeah, so the event itself is actually going to run from 12 to 8, but we are going to be set up there from 12 to 4. And yes, a portion of each drink that's ordered comes back to us as an organization, which is great. And that's certainly, every dollar helps. But we also, when we're there from 12 to 4, set up with merchandise and raffles. That is sort of the difference maker for these events. So what could be a $200 donation from one of these places turns into $1,000 fundraiser when we're selling merchandise and raffles. So we find it very beneficial to actually be at these events and set up and try to interface with folks that do come out, so we can tell them about our organization, have them support more mini pints. But then also it turns what's a $200 day into a $1,000 day, especially when we can get volunteers to do those table setups for us. That way I'm not going, or one of my coworkers, which obviously when you break down sort of our salary and really kind of get into the weeds of it, if we can send volunteers, it's all pure profit at that point. So that's what we try to do most of the time. So for this Sunday, it's 12 to 4, but they are extending the donations from 12 to 8, which is their hours on Sunday.
Very cool. Very cool. Give people a good idea. And where is this again on Sunday?
It's called the West Reading Tavern. So if you've ever been in the Reading area, it's going to be, especially if you've gone to a Fightins game, it's going to be the exits, kind of a few right before that in West Reading. And it's a really nice main street along there. They've done a really nice job sort of developing that area. So even if you go to West Reading and have a drink or two and have some food, there's a couple other places you can check out nearby that are really nice in the area. There's an ice cream shop, a few stores around. So it's a nice little spot. But specifically for this event, West Reading Tavern is the name, and it's right there on Main Street.
And do they still have that street festival or flea market or something that they do on Sundays?
Yeah, they do a farmer's market on Sundays. I
There you
think
go.
that goes from 9 to 1, maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
so if you get there a little bit earlier than the start at 12, because keep in mind, since it does start at 9, these farmers and sort of local producers only bring certain amount of stuff, so it kind of goes early. So if you show up a little bit earlier, there's a good chance that you can get some really good local produce and fruits and vegetables, breads, meats, all kind of good stuff. And then swing by West Reading Tavern starting at 12.
Nice. Very good. Well, good luck. good luck this Sunday and moving forward. And keep an eye out for a couple old folks. You just might see them.
And then how can anybody donate if they can't make it to the event?
Yeah, so right on our website, humanepa.org, there's a donate button. Feel free at any time to make a donation. As I kind of mentioned, not to, like I said, I try to keep things positive, but we definitely are feeling the effects of just the current, state of the country, rising prices, inflation, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, charitable donations are the first things that tend to take a hit, understandably. So if you've got an extra few bucks floating around and you'd like to send it our way, we'd certainly appreciate it.
Very cool. Very cool. Anthony, you with us? You didn't fall asleep yet, did
Yeah,
you?
no, I'm still up.
Your segments. You're up.
All right. What do you got for me?
Well, in conjunction with Reading and West Reading and drinking beer and all that's going on, I heard a couple of numbers about the Reading Fighting Phils. Attendance is going through the roof, and things are booming in baseball town.
Yeah, I mean we're all the numbers for each of the weekends have been over what we've projected for the most part. I think I forget the total amount that we're over that we projected, but we're right on track to what the numbers are pre-COVID, which is good. We had the numbers down a little bit internally just after last year, not knowing what it was going to be. But it looks like, every game's an extra 500 there, 1,000 there. These different town nights we work with, a lot of people have been coming in. So, a Tuesday and Wednesday, which might have been a little bit slower, actually some of the busier dates, so it's been good. Had a great weather for the 4th, just had a little rain on the 2nd. That was it. So we had a lot of people out for that. And then we're off this week, but the next week's our only set of games for the month, which is much needed and appreciated. August will be busy, but July we just have games on next Tuesday is the No Crying in Baseball Town t-shirt. And then Wednesday's the Fanatic. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are fireworks. And then Sunday is a hot dog vendor t-shirt for kids. So nice little homestand in here to kind of, wind down a little bit for the month. But then we get back in August and it's pretty crazy through the whole month. I think we're home 3 out of the 4 weeks.
Well,
so you're resting up then.
I'm trying to get something together.
Well, and I think the good thing about what you guys do there is on the flip side of that, if people are sort of watching what they're spending, everything in Reading is reasonable. It's free parking versus $22 at Citizens Bank Park. Hot dogs are what, $2.50?
Yeah, maybe $3, no more than that. But I mean,
it's just way more affordable for a family to come out to a game in Reading. So I think they're sort of seeing the positive end of this right now.
Right.
Is that more and more people can afford to go to a Reading game versus a Phillies game.
Yep.
And so people are able to take advantage of that and do a little bit more. And it is such a good family atmosphere for everybody. Whether you like baseball or not, there's still plenty of stuff going on and plenty of entertainment. So I think you guys are reaping the benefits of being more affordable.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you just can save so much money by going. And if you get one of these, town night tickets or a sponsor ticket or something like that doesn't really cost anything, then you're more likely to go spend money once you get there. And so, it's just been really, really good. I think a lot. I know a lot of people have traveled. We hear about it all the time, but I think a lot of people stayed home over the 4th as well, and those numbers were just huge. So, I mean, it's great that things are getting back to normal, and then we can have all that stuff and hopefully keep going.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great. And also for people who don't, you guys work so well together with, I know a lot of your deals, are brokered through schools and organization things where you have, buy tickets in bulk and pass it along and, make it even more affordable, for people to go to these games.
Yeah, we had I forget the amount of school kids we had out this year, maybe like 20,000 school kids that it was a free ticket to them, but it was paid for by a sponsor for doing well in schools. And then you have different town nights from here to an hour and a half in each direction. If that Chamber of Commerce in the area won't work with us, we'll just make it up on ourselves and do it without them.
Yeah.
So we still have Lancaster County night, and we still have, Lehigh Valley night and all those. And those nights do really well for us. That might be the one time people are coming to the ballpark, but it sort of introduces us to a new area, and then hopefully they continue to be fans. So yeah, we've been really good this year with that.
Well, you're talking about August, and I believe, Lauren, correct me if I'm wrong, Carl's Cards has a night on a Friday in August.
August 26th.
Yep.
So we're back out there then. That's also in conjunction with Humane Pennsylvania's Fiesta Friday table setup. So we'll be right next to each other. Hint, hint. So yeah, 2 for the price of 1 that night. You can come out and support Carl's Cards, and
think we can get an extra chair.
I think we might be able to swing an extra chair.
I have to put in a word.
He'll put in a good word for it.
That didn't sound too positive.
No, but that's all right. I know where they're stored at this point, so I'll just go get one. So yeah, we'll do our charity raffle like we've been, and then the Humane Pennsylvania table. So far this year, we do a spin wheel, so we give away some free stuff, but we are also raffling off a Bryce Harper autograph baseball. And tickets are only $1 a piece. And I think I'm going to open that up to anybody, even if you're not at the game, just so folks can take advantage of it. Because once again, every dollar helps. But if you're out there on August 26th, you'll be able to also participate in that raffle.
Very nice.
There should be no excuse for anyone coming to that game. That's the last week before kids go back to school. That's the last hurrah before the next week. At least around here, most kids go to school around the 1st. So that should be, no excuses for that day.
Very cool. Very cool. You guys do great work with everyone, and it's just good to see. The community gets behind. I know I saw something the other week. There was a clothes drive, and I guess Mikey Robinson might have been behind all that, where they were giving away unbelievable amounts of clothes and shoes and whatnot to the needy in the ballpark.
I might be wrong, but I feel it was like over 20,000 items. There's some of those Amazon warehouses near us, and they're, if you return things, a little scratch here and there, they got to they're not able to use it, and they sort of teamed up with the church, and they just needed a place to distribute it. And yeah, it was crazy. By the time I had gotten in, which was only about an hour after it started, most of the stuff was almost already gone. It was totally gone by 2 hours in. So yeah, I mean, things like that that don't necessarily get publicized as much. We do a lot of that behind the scenes stuff, which is important.
Yeah, and it is important, and you're right. It doesn't get the notoriety that it should, because I mean, giving back to the community, and in a needed community where less fortunate people take advantage of that. So kudos to you guys, the Reading Fighting Phils, Humane Pennsylvania. You guys are always giving away pet food and pet supplies and drives, and kudos to both you guys. You work your ass off, and you deserve a break every now and again. And I guess tonight's the night for the break. You're able to join us.
Yep.
Just for this hour.
Mm-hmm.
Just for this hour, and then Anthony goes back to the office, and he's filling out his papers.
Definitely.
Yep.
100%.
Filling out his papers.
There you go. All right, so let's get back to our Philly sports teams a little bit. I know we covered the Phillies, we covered the Flyers. Lauren, I know the Sixers are your baby.
I do not want Kevin Durant if that means Tyrese Maxey has to go.
I'm in total agreement. Maxey cannot leave Philadelphia.
He is an absolute no deal for me. Anybody else? Not Joel Embiid, but anybody else? Those two are untouchables for me.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you. It just seems like everybody that's talking to the Sixers, that's the first name that comes up.
Well, yeah, I mean, they want the best of the best, which I get, but Tyrese Maxey is a young kid that you can build the team around. Joel Embiid's only getting older. You need his speed, and you need his ability to hit the floor and actually be able to get back up. Anytime he falls, there's never really much concern. You just know he's going to spring right back up again. there's always sort of that moment of where your heart stops when Joel Embiid hits the floor. So the two of them together, I think, are untouchables. If they want to bring Kevin Durant here, okay, I guess, but not at either one of those two are involved.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a hell of a combination of Durant, Harden, and Embiid. I'm just trying to figure out, like, the game of basketball, you still only have one ball, right?
Right.
How's that going to work? You know what
But
I mean?
you see it all over the league, and that's the thing that's frustrating about basketball is that these powerhouse teams, all these guys want to go to the already established good teams. Everybody wants to go play for the Lakers. Everybody wants to go for the Warriors. Everybody wants to go to Milwaukee. Everybody wants to go to these big teams, and they do. And then that leaves all these other small market teams in the dust because they've got one or two big players. So I give Embiid a lot of credit because there could have been a time where he shipped himself off to the Warriors and probably won 3 championships at this point. But that never happened. He stayed here, and he was that big fish in a little pond that we needed. And so if we're going to have a big three and James Harden and Kevin Durant are going to be those three, and with Tyrese Maxey, I'm good with that. But you can't touch Maxey and you can't touch Embiid to get him.
Right.
I think you just need to get a better bench and have better consistency. I don't know that you need all these names of these guys. I mean, some of these guys on these other teams I had literally never heard of in my life, and they come in and they make the shots when they need to. The Sixers are right there the whole time. They just missed a lot of those shots, and the guys on the bench weren't as consistent. So I don't know that you need a Kevin Durant because you got all these big name players don't necessarily mean you're going to win. You got to have some of these role players that actually are good, not guys that miss all the time.
And that brings up a good point because, James Harden came in and everybody was, so jazzed about that. And then we quickly saw that the peak of his career has already passed him and he's on the downward trend at this point. And I feel like Kevin Durant's in that same boat. I mean, he's been a basketball player since I can remember. So I don't even know how he's still of basketball age.
Yeah, you would end up.
And I think it's the same situation. I think James Harden and Kevin Durant are pretty similar players, and they've also both never really won anything. So bringing Kevin Durant here, I think, is just sort of a James Harden 2.0, and everybody seemed not too happy with James Harden at the end of the season. So I feel like you're just going to fall into that same bubble again.
Well, I knew you would have the answer, and you delivered. So, John, you have any input on this? Because I know you're a big Kevin Durant fan.
No, I mean Durant would be the only guy that you would give Maxey up for if he had to, but there's not many just because you'd have the chance for the championship.
But how do you justify that? I mean, you would literally have to win this year.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm saying he would be the only guy that you could even think about it. I don't know that I would do that deal though myself, but Durant would probably be the only guy that you would even think about it. And
then I think if that deal happens, the Sixers are throwing away any potential future for the organization and putting all their eggs in the basket of we are going to win this year. And if they don't,
I don't think that's enough. Right
trust
there.
the process 2.0 is all I can say.
That's going to be a lot, and that doesn't make your bench any better. I think there's way better things you can do than do that.
Well, I mean, it would be Maxey and Harris would go.
Well, it's the trade. Isn't the trade Maxey, Harris, and Thibault and 3 number ones?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, things have been thrown out there. I mean, but you still just picked up a couple of guys. I mean, they went and got House. House and PJ Tucker and Melton. So, again, a little bit older guys, so that they're looking at the window being maybe a 2-3 year window.
Well, Tucker's the old man. The other 2 guys are kids. They're still kids, right?
I mean,
Melton's just.
drafted.
He was just drafted 2-3 years ago, and he was a nice little player down in Memphis.
Right.
I mean, he was overshadowed by John Morant. But he's a nice little player, and Anthony's talking about a bench player, and on most nights he's going to come off the bench because I think Tucker's going to start. And then who's the other guy we got?
Bible.
Daniel House.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean that's another bench piece. Um, so I mean, and now with them restructuring Harden's deal, it almost, it's feeling like there's another big player in play here.
Right.
There just seems to be. They're awfully interested in moving Tobias and moving Thibault, and they've already moved Danny Green.
And I'm okay. I'm okay with Thibault moving on, and I'm okay with Harris moving on. But
Yeah, no, I mean Maxi is definitely going to be the big key. I mean for anybody, you're like you said, you have to win the championship or else it's a failure.
right,
Yeah, it would, like
And
Shawnee.
you set your team back, a few years.
right.
Yep.
But yeah,
But the real question is, how's Ben Simmons doing?
How about that whole Brooklyn franchise? How about
Yeah.
that? Can we just kind of dial that back a little bit?
Well, Kyrie Irving didn't go anywhere, right? So he's going to re-sign with the Nets.
Yeah, he opted in.
Did he officially opt in?
Yeah.
That's what I'd heard that he'd opted in, and then that's when they thought Durant was going to stay because of
Right.
that, and then Durant's like, no, I want to be traded, and
It sounds like no one is in control over that. They do whatever they want to do. Every player does anything they want to do, and no one's in control of that team.
I mean, is Ben Simmons even practicing? Is he doing anything with the summer league? Is he?
Well, they're going to build that team around Ben Simmons. He's that great of a player.
he was out deep sea fishing the other day
That's good.
with his bad back, but he was out deep sea fishing.
I remember a couple years ago when the Phillies were like really bad. There was a Twitter account that said like, "Did the Phillies win today?" And it was just basically a joke about, "Nope, they lost. Nope, they lost." I think another one needs to be created with like, "Did Ben Simmons play basketball today?" And it's, I mean, I don't get that at all. I still don't understand how the league allows it.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly. Yeah.
Adam Silver seems so much smarter than that. He seems so much better organized. I don't understand how the NBA continues to allow that because that is such a black eye on the league.
Well,
Yeah.
if he keeps saying whatever he's saying behind closed doors, mental illness, you can't really call someone out unless you prove
That's the
it.
problem.
If he says he's
But
going
you gotta make some moves. You gotta show something. You can't just
Well,
keep crying mental illness with no.
if this year that doesn't
Movement.
happen, I'm pretty sure very quickly they'll want to either pay him and be done or just move on or whatever.
Well, and how bad's his back if he's fishing?
It's not.
Right.
It's all nonsense.
Yeah, it's all excuses. But isn't the lawsuit coming up with the Sixers like that he's going to have to provide the documents from the doctors whether he does actually have a mental illness, and it's going to come to a head soon whether or not he actually is faking it or not.
I imagine he's going to drop that lawsuit if I had to guess, because I don't
Right.
see a current player suing another team and that stuff not getting public. He doesn't want that to get public, whether it's something really bad or lying. So he's going to end up not taking that to court, I would imagine.
Right. Oh yeah, I agree. I would think, but he's
That's a lot.
playing it up at the moment.
The last thing the league needs is a court case from a current player to
Right.
a team. I mean, that you don't need that.
Yeah,
Good
especially in
thing
these.
he's not Hall of Fame bound because that would definitely dampen his chances.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's going to make the Hall of Fame.
Well, he's got to make a shot first.
Or play a game.
Well, he's already done enough so far. He was a 3-time All-Star. He was Rookie of the Year. He's done a lot. He almost runner-up to Defensive Player of the Year.
And then and now this. Like, when did all that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
The-
Ever since Morey came in and said he's building the team around Joel Embiid and not Simmons, and Simmons got his panties in a ruffle. So.
I just feel like they got a lot of things to do. They're still not close to any of these other teams, and I don't know what you could do. I don't know what you could say to make me think different. I don't know what the issue is. I mean,
and I think maybe that's part of the reason why that Durant talk is out there, because that's maybe the only thing that may, whether or not it does or not, that might be the only thing that kind of gives them the
So
recognition that they might be viable for a championship.
So here's a question. So they bring in Kevin Durant, they go to the finals, whether they win it, lose it, whatever. My question is, would you take that if you had to be bad for the next 20 years?
Right. Yeah.
I need to win if
Right.
we're going to be bad for the
Well, you
next
can't
20
guarantee
years.
by getting who you're going to win. You can just go as far as he can take you. If he misses a shot last second, you never know. So I'm saying, would you do that if you knew your team's going to be bad for a little bit because you took on all that?
Only if we were going to win.
Yeah, he has to have the parade at the end of the day.
Right. Just going to the finals isn't enough for me.
I don't know that
Real quick question: were any of you guys invited to the Hamptons for the Sixer party the other night?
No, my
I just
Fanatics
missed the
invite
cut.
must have got lost in the mail.
I was a no invite as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just missed the cut. We had a better party Saturday night anyway.
That and I don't own a white shirt, so apparently you needed a white shirt. Everybody
Well,
was
Reading's got plenty of them, so I could get you one.
got a whole closet of white shirts.
But it has to be a plain white shirt.
Wow.
Flip it inside out.
And collar.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Basketball always goes around and comes back to Ben Simmons. I mean, why
Yes.
why is that?
Drama queen.
I don't think we'd care nearly as much if he didn't play here. If it was any other team,
Right. Oh, right.
we would laugh just like everybody else is. But
All right, so
we experienced it firsthand.
so I gotta throw it out there. I mean, is this Carson Wentz? In a different sport?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I don't even think
No?
that he's no. I put Carson better than Ben.
Carson Wentz
Carson
plays
at least
football.
played and got you to where you were the year they won the Super Bowl. It's not like Ben took you all the way to the finals and then got injured, but you still won. Ben's never even done that. So no, I don't put him in the same boat as Carson at all. At least Carson's got a ring.
Right. It just seems like Carson's on his third team already, and
Right.
so
right. That
so
part.
much drama, so much, just so much BS. And what happened to the sport? What happened to the athlete? What happened to being a number one pick overall? It just seems like there's just so much that's gone wrong, and you just sit here shaking your head like, whatever happened to playing ball?
Yeah.
Well,
Like your famous line.
Some of those
it's
high,
so big now.
some of those picks, when you get picked that high, if you don't have the proper, you're not in the proper mental state, you can really let it get to you. You got a lot of pressure. I'm not saying that's the reason why, but both of those guys were pretty up there, and now they're not. So maybe they just couldn't handle the pressure. Now, if you can't handle the pressure, you probably shouldn't go to New York City.
Right.
So I don't know how that's going to work for him, but yeah, I don't know that they can handle it.
But like your famous line, though, Carl, it only happens in Philadelphia. It can only happen here in Philly. I mean, what's the odds of two guys at a high elite level players that are just turned into the flakes? Once they got paid, they just turn into flakes, and bad teammates. I mean, that's just it's hard to believe.
It's and it all starts in the clubhouse, because we remember some incidents that were reported about Carson, not being a good teammate, and
right.
Just ugly, just all ugly. But I want to stay positive, and we're running out of time, and we had no Eagles talk, and big shout out to Jason Kelsey, Havertown's own Jason Kelsey. Second year in a row, he raised $100,000 down in Sea Isle last week for Eagles autism. Kudos to his brother Travis, who came into town, along with who's the big Australian Jordan Mailata. They entertained the crowd down there in Sea Isle all day long. kudos to them. I mean, you talk about a guy, that just wraps his arms around a city,
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to intermingle with the fans and sign an autograph and take photos and just that's the kind of guy that you can really rally around and he's got his Super Bowl, but yet, you know, one more year, one more year, one more year,
Yeah,
So, kudos to him, to his family. He brought his mom and dad into town for the event. Just an awesome individual. Um, why can't we have more players like that in the league, right?
absolutely.
Why can't there be more guys like that?
I think we found another one in Bryce Harper as well, embracing the town. But
Well,
he may not be as outgoing like in the public right at the moment, um, but he's another guy that's right there, and hopefully in a couple more years he'll loosen up a little bit, and that'll you
Well,
know.
if you'd have said Reese Hoskins, I'd have agreed with you 1,000%.
Oh, well,
Because
Hoskins.
when it comes to supporting the city and
Mm-hmm.
and running his foundation and doing all those kinds of things, Reese is at the top of the chart for Phillies for the Phillies organization.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
Reese does a
Really, you think he's higher than Howard?
well. Here's the deal, because when you're playing, you, that's what's important, right? As soon as you're done playing and you're gone, out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Um, now Ryan comes back to town a lot. Jimmy comes back to town a lot. Chase does not. You know what I mean? So, we see a little bit of, what they do. I mean, Cole had a phenomenal foundation when he was here in Philadelphia. As soon as he left, poof, it was gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm talking pretty much, while you're playing in the town, that you're, an athlete in. Um,
Makes it
you
a little
know,
bit bigger then. But
yeah, and people want to meet the current player. They want to mingle and support the foundation, and I think Reese does a phenomenal job with it.
yeah, yep, him and his wife Jamie, they
Yep,
both do.
yep. I know a lot of the Phillies players rally around different foundations and whatnot, but hopefully Bryce finds his a foundation of some sort, because he definitely has room to improve as far as getting out with the people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little. I don't know if he's a little gun shy or what the deal is there, but he needs to get out into the public eye and support the city, much like these other guys.
Mm.
So love Bryce, love everything about him. I know he loves the city and whatnot, but he needs to get out. He needs to get out and and mingle with the people a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the Mecca, the sports Mecca, Havertown, PA. I gotta agree with you, Joe Stinger. I'm right there with you. And no argument there. No argument. We got John LeClaire. We got Jason Kelsey. Who's the other one? There, somebody else was telling me. Um, Cole was living out here for a while when he played. So was Roy Halladay. Um, so they've supported Delco and done a lot of great charity things. What's the update on Cole? I know I keep hearing little things here and now and again that he wants to pitch again. I mean, is that a possibility?
I think he's doing more golfing than pitching these days.
Yeah.
We
I,
all,
I don't think so.
yeah,
Yeah, I think after this season, when this baseball season is over, come October, November, he's got to make an announcement that's it, that he's
Right.
done, if
Right.
not sooner.
right.
No, it would be sooner. It
But
won't be
Yeah.
sooner. He's going to stick around in case anyone calls him last minute, make one last paycheck. But I don't think that call's going to come anymore.
and I mean, I don't even know that he's actively
No, but
working out, and I mean,
but someone will call him. I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I certainly, wish him the best. And I had a great experience when I worked for his foundation. But, yeah, I think you just got to know when it's enough, when it's time to sort of hang up the cleats and the glove. And I think that would be time for him now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a song about that, wasn't it? Wasn't there?
Yeah.
I
Kenny
would
Rock.
just hate to see him go somewhere to another team and disappoint everybody. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're going to remember your career as.
Well, he
Right.
tried that with Atlanta, right?
Yep.
He tried it with Atlanta. He did okay with Texas. I mean, the peak of his career was when they won the World Series and he was the MVP.
Right.
Now just go out and become an ambassador for the Phillies, become a coach in the mind, something to that effect.
Yep.
Um, Jenny brings up a point. He was throwing the other day, and he put it on his Instagram story, but. Whew, I think I could have thrown faster than what he was doing. I mean,
What was he throwing them back?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, and maybe he was just warming up, but man, it seemed slow. You could tell that he hasn't, there was a lot of rust there. So,
Mm.
All right. Well, there's no rust here at this fan's view because the motor's running and we're back out on the road next Wednesday night at Dagwood's Pub. We're shifting gears a little bit. We've got a newcomer as our guest, as in Blair Thomas,
Yep.
former Penn State football player, number one draft pick for the New York Jets. So I'm sure he's got some interesting stories. We love stories, right?
Oh yeah.
It's what we're all about, right?
Yep.
And so we're looking forward to that. And then the following week, we're back in Delco at Hanrahan's with Chris Wheeler. So we got a couple of really great shows lined up back to back, and then the family and I are heading off to Ocean City, New Jersey. Little vacation time.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. So Anthony, you going to join us in Ocean City? Are you coming
Yeah,
down?
yeah, I can't. Yes, I can't. I don't know that's far out what days yet, but I'll be there.
All right, good to hear. I need a drinking partner.
All right,
I'm guessing at least on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh yeah, by Wednesday.
I don't know what that
Oh,
means. But,
you know what Wednesday is.
well, it's just another birthday now. It's just another birthday.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, great show.
Yep.
We took care of another honest hour of talking Philly sports and trying to dissect what the hell's going on in the world, and it all came back to Ben Simmons.
yep.
Oh yeah.
I
But,
blame
so-
him for everything.
What's that?
I blame him for everything. Inflation, his fault. High gas prices, his fault.
Wait, we got to have somebody to blame, right?
Yep,
Yep.
I blame him.
exactly.
Right? But justification in all of this. Brett Brown found another job in the NBA.
Yeah.
Brett Brown is going back to work for the San Antonio Spurs.
He's
Where
gonna be
he
the
got-
next head coach there too. Once Pop.
You're probably right, Johnny. You're probably right.
You know.
Yep. Well, guys.
They're going to be rebuilding too, but they're just not going to call it the process when he does it there.
Oh, well. I'll see you guys next Wednesday night. Hopefully, we'll get a packed house out there at Dagwoods,
Yes.
and we'll have some great raffle prizes. I'm sure we'll have a few Penn State items.
Oh yeah.
Lauren, you got to be getting excited, right? That's your
yeah.
alma mater.
Yep.
There you go. So, you guys all good?
We're good.
Johnny, I don't want you to have missed anything. You've been awfully quiet.
Oh no, we're all good. It's a good time. We missed a little bit of Eagles talk, but that's okay.
Yeah, we did, and unfortunately,
Yeah, the hour is just a little too low.
camp opens up real soon.
Yeah, the 26th.
Yep. So They're loaded. They're loaded for bear. So I
They're
think
getting a
that
lot of
might be
praise.
I think that might be the winner in this town.
Yeah.
So on
I,
that
I,
note, guys, have a
we'll see you next week.
great rest of the night, the rest of the week, and we'll talk again next Wednesday night.
Sounds good.
Thanks again to City Distilling for being our presenting sponsor. They do a phenomenal job. I saw Anthony sipping all one, so
On.
Gone. He's not sipping. It's gone.
good job. Got to give them sponsors a shout out.
Absolutely. See you later.
All right, guys, take care.